In Hello Roger, we offer a listening ear to viewers with problems. This time we received a question from a viewer with an apartment where the finishing touches still need to be done. The viewer's question was as follows. How do I hang my curtains? Roger shows how to easily get the job done. We won't need this anymore. The curtains will hang on a rail. The first job is to measure how long the rail can be. You use a laser for this. Of course, that can also definitely be done with a meter. Roger immediately measures in the two rooms. Immediately. Besides the window, there isn't much extra space here. If you have the space, you can always measure further to the left and right of the window so that the curtain falls nicely along the window. With the measurements at hand, you can mark the desired length on the first rail. Mark this with a utility knife. To cut the rail to the desired size, you will need to use a hacksaw carefully. For the second rail, you will proceed in the same way.
Because we have cut our rail to size and we have sawed off the last hole, we are now going to drill a new hole, almost at the end, because it definitely needs to be anchored there.
Use a small metal drill to make the hole. Here, Roger will attach the curtain rail to the ceiling with screws and plugs. There are still numerous other ways to hang a curtain rail. The same rail can also be attached to the wall above the window using spacers. Holes are provided in the curtain rail. To align the profile, place it against the wall and mark the holes of the rail. Then transfer the measurement with a ladle to the desired distance from your wall. And now just drill. It's a concrete ceiling. That's why Roger uses a powerful hammer drill with a masonry bit. Do not immediately set the drill to hammer mode, otherwise you could damage the plaster. You can recognize the masonry drill. It lacks a sharp point or edge. Keep your vacuum cleaner by the drill to collect the drill dust. You won't have to clean the entire room later. Roger chooses a universal plug as a plug. The curtains we hang up here are not too heavy, so a universal plug will suffice. Roger chooses a 50mm plug with a matching screw. Drill the hole where the plug goes a few millimeters deeper. This gives you a bit more leeway. Here it seems Roger can't drill any deeper. Presumably there is a steel structure in the way. Therefore, he will have to make an extra hole in the curtain rail and drill a hole in the ceiling equidistant from the wall. To make the hole in the rail, Roger uses a metal drill again. So that's going a bit smoother. We have been attaching the rail to see if everything is in order. While drilling, some plaster came loose from the ceiling. You can fill this with a filler plaster and a small putty knife. First, you carefully detach the curtain rail. Apply a small amount of filler putty to your putty knife and gently smooth it over the small holes. To avoid drilling again later, Troger quickly puts the screw back into the half-dried layer of filler. Now all that remains is to hang the curtains. You do this by placing the hooks in the curtain runners. These custom-made curtains are equipped with adjustable hooks. If you still need to provide hooks in the curtains themselves, you have many choices. Often there is typically a curtain tape sewn into the top hem of curtains. If we take a closer look at the curtain tape, we see that it is an important part of your curtain. It is used to hang the curtain. On the one hand, there are loops through which you can pass a curtain rod. On the other hand, there are 3 rows where you can insert hooks to hang the curtains just like here in the runners. To choose the right hooks, first determine which pleat you want. Our curtains have a single pleat, which is the most common pleat for blackout curtains. Because we don't need any extra fabric here, it is more economical than another curtain pleat. If you want to put the single pleat in your curtains yourself, then you choose 2 curtain hooks. There are also variants with 4 legs for a different look with a double fold. If you are placing curtain hooks yourself, make sure you always maintain the same distance between the pleats. Finally, you attach the last hook to the fixed curtain runner. This is a runner that you cannot move. This way you can be sure the start of your curtain stays neatly aside when you close it. There are also some shelves to hang up. Roger shows us 2 different hanging systems. There are 6 shelves to hang in the hallway. Because it is repetitive work, you can make a template out of cardboard. This way you immediately know exactly where the drill holes are in relation to each other precisely. Cut a piece of cardboard to the same width as your shelf. Measure your hanging points and transfer this size to your cardboard. Carefully drill the holes in advance. Measure exactly where you want your first rack to be and draw a straight line here with the level. Place your template neatly on the line, correct distance from the wall and mark out your drill holes. Of course, definitely make sure there are absolutely no pipes running here. Roger will use universal plugs to secure the shelf. This time the drilled hole has the same depth as the plug. With this hanging system, the screws will stay a bit further from the wall, so that the metal hanging elements on the back of the shelves can be placed over the screws. Now that the last shelf is attached to the wall, the shoes can be neatly put aside. Time for the next job. Roger is still hanging some shelves in the bathroom. They are floating shelves again, but this time they will be hung differently. This time there is a bracket provided attached to the wall. You can slide the shelf over this. First mark where the center is. Then hold the bracket against the wall to also mark the other drill holes. Drill a few millimeters deeper than the size your universal plug. Using 3 screws, you securely attach the first hanging bracket to the wall, ensuring it is properly aligned and firmly in place for stability. After a check, the first bracket fits. For the next bracket, you repeat the same steps as before. First, determine the midpoint of the bracket, then mark the middle drill hole. Hold the bracket in place and mark the 2 extra drill holes. Next, drill the holes, place the plugs into the holes, screw the bracket tight, and finally, you place the planks over the hanging brackets to complete the installation process. The hanging tasks are done. Do you have a problem where Roger can help you? Then send an email to roger.dobbit.b.